My name is Kristina Aphakidze. I come from Georgia, but I am living and studying in Italy. I study in the University of Sapienza di Roma. I study in Rome on my master's program. My master is fully in English, so I study in English language, and my master is business administration. And here I am for my Erasmus exchange for 1 semester. At the same time, while I'm here as an Erasmus exchange in ULB, I'm also writing my thesis, which is going to be my master's final thesis, which I'm having supervisor, but back in Italy. So I'm doing everything remotely. I'm here with the Erasmus program, and I'm also through Erasmus CIVIS partnership. And I remember I chose the universities that were under the CIVIS partnership because they were one of the top leading ones, especially for the field that I am studying in. I study business, but not in a more of a managerial part of it, less of a finance way of it, because that had been my bachelor and master. I'm more focusing on communication, marketing, and managerial part of all of that. So through my research that I made, I found out that Solvay Business School was one of the top ones in Europe, and that's why I was more encouraged to actually dedicate my Erasmus choices and choose CIVIS partnership, and that's why I chose this school. I remember my first and foremost goal was the fact that to go for studies but actually be able to provide for myself. And through providing for myself, I wanted to apply for the national scholarships that my country was offering. And according to that, I remember at that time I applied in different countries. It was France, in Bordeaux, in Berlin, Germany, and in Roma, in Sapienza. And a final decision that I took of Italy was the fact that Italian university was the one that I'm studying is the one that is not charging you much more higher tuition fee because you're not European Union student. That's how I was very much liking this aspect of Sapienza. Is also very much left-wing university, way different. It carries way different values. It was fully in English because my Italian is not that strong. And once I applied there and I went there, it's always like that in life. You're understanding that things are actually happening for your good. And once I arrived there and I started my first semester, which one was offline, of course, it was back in 2019, September, things went back to the point where I was like realizing I am in the place where I should have been. So during my classes, even when we switched online, it was very interactive. We would be like raising hand on Teams or Zoom, and we would like share our opinions. I've noticed that in Brussels, it's way laid back. Actually here, the classes and the guest speakers are mostly perceived to actually get as much as information as you can from them, and just this is going to be your ending point. And when there is a point where a professor might be asking, like, do you have any questions or something, there is never somebody who is actually from Belgium who is asking questions. Usually these are like foreigner students, and you immediately understand they're like foreigners. Very crucial question in my life because, of course, moving to Brussels was not the first time when I moved abroad. And when I thought I booked everything and I paid my deposit money for my apartment where I supposed to have been living, once I arrived here, I understood that my case was completely scammed. So if not my Erasmus students, I would have had much more tougher days, because once I realized on arrival that I was not having a place to stay and my situation was completely scam, of course my first moment was to approach my another Erasmus friends who I knew online, and of course my another friend who is here from my University of Sapienza, but he arrived 1 or 2 weeks earlier. So I was staying at his place, and at the same time I was dealing with the police report to actually tell them that I got scammed, and I just wanted to say my word in case of the fact that you always know these kind of things happen, but you never realize the damage of it unless you experience it. So I just wanted to get my word out so that other students would know that these kind of things happen and you don't have to feel down. It is okay, things get better. And I'm very grateful for my friends who hosted me for a while. Once I was self-isolating, and then I was physically visiting places to actually get one. And I've managed it, and it was really hard times. It was not really fun, but of course you just know that it happens to everyone and it is not the end of the world. And also I approached my university, ULB, the coordinated staff, who also contacted me back. They were really worried, because of course nobody had control over anything that happened. And they also offered me some residences that they made specific discount for me so that I could stay. But later on I rejected that for another reason. But of course school also tried to support me at some degree, and it mattered a lot, because when you're like a young woman arriving in a foreign country, not speaking language and facing such a moral hazard, it was not about only finances. It was really tough, but of course things get better, and I'm very happy that I finally found a place where I can just settle and do my studies and follow the curriculum as it is. Things shifted to positive because I just found a place, and I've met another Erasmus people with whom I actually gone for weekend trips to different cities like Bruges and Antwerp. So that was really beautiful, and I'm very grateful for that. So I'm keeping those negative memories back, but it was like really learning curve to me, so that I can take into account in future.